Beyond the Veil, Navigating the Great Awakening, a special series on Survivor Angels.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
All right, I'm going to be really snarky starting out this episode, Jen, and I'm going to say I refuse to answer that question. I plead no answer on grounds of my Fifth Amendment constitutional rights.
Oh, yeah. I did this. Beep. Turned it off and went to Shark Week.
No, but I mean, there's so much restlessness going on right now in the whole world and in people's individual lives. It's just crazy. And you know, the thing is this has happened in every culture going back in time. And so do we look at all of these things as archetypes of time, or do we look at them as themes? What are you getting, oh wise one?
Interesting question. I'm a firm believer of both. I feel like if we don't pay attention to the past will repeat. But also knowing that we have free will, that gives us the little preparation that we need in order to change the future. So I think that a lot has to do with perspective. I think a lot has to do with us taking our own control back and seeing things very clearly, seeing things honestly, even if it scares us. I think that we're at the precipice of here's our chance, here's our opportunity with this energy. If you don't like what you're feeling, seeing, hearing, then do something about it. Change it. Our perspective, you had something posted not too long ago about how you see things. If you change the half cup, the full cup is not full to it is full. Our perspective changes. And if we don't like what we're hearing, feeling, stop hitting the little button on because your feed on your phone keeps giving you the same stuff, doom and gloom and doom and, oh, woe is me. No, change it. You have the power to do that. And I think reality, we can shift our own reality based on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the year of the fire horse, which we're about halfway through it because it didn't start until mid-February.
Right.
So we're kind of right at that halfway point with this year that got everybody's attention as soon as people started throwing out there, Chinese year 2026 is the year of the fire horse. It was like rare. And people were just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And what does that mean? And I'm not sure that people have settled into it yet, even. I think they're still wondering, what does that mean? I think it's a year of transformation, transforming out of the chaos. What do you think?
So I'm getting that it was a slow transition into the year of the horse. But starting August, we're taping today, which is July 29th, full moon, full buck moon.
Buck moon, yeah.
Under full moons, it forces us to see things clearly because of the added light from the moon. Knowing that, this is like the halfway point of the year. We've had a slow transition, and this horse has just had its gate open. The energy right now is blown wide open. So people may be feeling anxious. Earthquakes are going to start happening. Major storm activity, politically, emotionally, you name it. it's going to be chaos for the next couple of months. I'm just telling you. And if you are not in control of your emotions, your thoughts, those kind of things, watch out. This podcast is to kind of let you know, hey, we're all in this together. We're all holding on, but we all have to be responsible about what's going on. The moon, the horse, you're the horse. All this is now coming into play. And people are, I got a text this morning going, what the heck is going on? Another medium sent like, hey, are you feeling this too? I'm like, absolutely. This is what's going on, right? We're all feeling it collectively. And so I think people are realizing they've awoken, and they're kind of at that point, like, what do I do now?
And so I think some don't even realize what that is.
Yeah.
And so they're restless
Yeah.
because they're like, I know this is different. Something has shifted. I don't know what it is. I don't quite understand it. You just think about all the wildfires that are going on. You mentioned the earthquakes and the tornadoes that just went ripping through Wisconsin here. In fact, went right over the top of where we were up in northern Minnesota. Thankfully, we were fine. But there's restlessness because Mother Nature is all riled up. You've got prime example. Gettysburg Battlefield Bash just happened this weekend. Everybody started out, all the posts were all happy and cheery and yay, I'm so glad to see friends and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, the post-event posts are reading between the lines. Okay, I found out who my friends were, these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And people don't quite know what to do with that. But they need to realize, like you just said, they're in control. Mm-hmm. What do you think you need to do?
Right. Yeah. It's called grow up. Yes. Grow up. It's called, if you see, and I'm not going to say who posted it, if people show you who they are, believe them. So true. Truer words have never been said. Right. But that takes the responsibility that you need to, number one, identify that. Number two, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to remove yourself from that energy? And then how do you move forward from there? Yeah. So not everybody is going to be in your life for good. Not everybody is going to be in your life forever. A lot of people are there for a moment in time for you to learn a lesson or not, and then you move on, right? As we get older, we start peeling away parts of the onion going, no. And so that's part of growing up. It's not all about me. It's not all about, look at me. Look, who could do something for me? It's about being who you need to be. Right. And if you're true to yourself, true to your word, and true to who you need to be, that will get you the right people. Always be honest, right? Because if we're just using people, you're going to get burned. You're just going to get burned.
The horse. Yeah. We said way back when we first started talking about it, we did a precursor, coming in January. And then of course it hit in February is, this is a year of change, major change in every possible facet of your life that you can think of. Life is about change. And like you just said, friends are going to come and friends are going to go. And that's how life works. That's not a bad thing. And it doesn't mean it's time for you to go sit in a frickin' corner and have a pity party because all of a sudden somebody's not as good a friend with you as what they were a month ago. That's because something else is coming down the pipe here, people, that's going to step in that is more beneficial for you than what that was. And
with every door closing, something else opens. It makes way for it.
Yeah. And so you need to start using discernment.
Yes.
Instead of just instantly going into this emotional puddle of, oh, woe is me, stop it. The only person you are hurting by doing that is yourself. It's not the other person who all of a sudden is going off in a different direction. That's their life. That is their choice. You probably didn't factor into it at all. And so, what did you learn from that? What did you take away from that? That is going to help you now as you continue on your path, on your journey that you are meant to be on, and work with it and see what opportunities it gives you, and how you can grow and expand and then actually help someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look at it as people need to have to look through a different lens. They need to look through a true lens. If somebody sends me a like or a follow, I don't know you. Sorry, I post personal things about my family and my kids. I don't know you. Just because you know somebody else. No, I don't need the followers, right?
Right.
But that's how this business works, right? Gettysburg Cash or going here or the paranormal, whatever. It's all on likes and follows and clicks, and those are clicks.
No.
It's called friending. Know who your friends are.
Yeah.
Know who your acquaintances are. Know who the acquaintances that are in business are, but are they your friends, right?
Right.
I keep a box and I watch my energy. And I suggest, especially this month, people start checking your energy. Check your box. Is there a leak? Right? If there is, get rid of it. I'm good with that because the true people who are meant to stay will stay. The people who won't will slough off. And I'm very, very, how would you say, cautious.
Yes.
I will meet people and meet people and meet people, and then I will decide based on their true character of who they are. I will have in-depth conversations, kind of like an interview. And if you remain in my life, yay. I'm fortunate and they are too, because I know who I am. Right. And I don't think there's enough, like you said, discernment, which causes chaos in people's lives. Oh, they don't like me. Oh, they said this. Oh, we don't agree. Well, maybe you should have vetted them before you friended them. Not everybody's going to be your friend. Sometimes there are ulterior motives, and I hate to say that, but business is business, right? People's true natures will eventually come out. I give them a good 6 months, and it's like, I didn't see that coming, right? Because we didn't invest the true time in who these people really are. So, when I hear about, post, drama or whatever, it's like, good. Did you learn something from it? Have you learned a lesson? Do you know who these people are now? Are you going to put them, in the lane that they belong? They don't belong in the main lane. They belong in the outside lanes. And that's okay. They can be on the outside lanes. That's okay. You get something, they get something. We're all good. But unless you actually allow them in, allow them to hurt you and give them that kind of energy, whose fault is it, right? Own a responsibility. Know who you are. Be true to yourself. See things clearly and stop making excuses,
Yes.
right?
Yes. See, now I am like the complete opposite of you. I will allow you in until you give me reason to kick you out. I've always been that way. I am, because I believe in love being at the core of my soul, as it is with everybody. And people who know my story are going, Jodi, really? All the trauma you've been through? And you can still say that? And yes, I can, because I have been at the reciprocating ends of a lot of that crap too, if you will.
Yeah.
And I know how it hurts. And of course, I'm an empathizer. Wow, I frozen the screen in a really crazy way there. I have so much empathy for people because I've been there, done that. And so I will sit with people But what I have learned in doing that is that's where I listen to my angels even closer, because they are the ones that are going to guide me through those relationships so I can stay in them, remaining true to myself, like you said, but at the same time, um, I believe that part of my responsibility is to help guide others because of what I have been through and what I understand, at least a little bit of about what they've maybe been through as well.
Oh, for
I
sure.
just, because I know people say to me, why aren't you angry about everything that's happened to you? And my response to that is, what good does that do me? All
Right.
it does is bring in negative energy on me. I'll probably get sick. I don't need to be sick. I don't want to be
Right.
sick. I would much rather find the silver linings, the good parts of people. I have to tell you this story. In order to go to seminary at the master's level, because people know I have a 4-year degree in Master of Divinity. You have to go through all these psychological tests and everything. They want to make sure you're not a wacko that's going to be up in the pulpit preaching. They let me through, but they almost didn't let me through because once I had done the whole battery of the written tests, then I had to go sit with a shrink. And he said to me, "Do you believe that there is good in people?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "You really, really do, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "People don't always act like they have good in them,
Right.
but that's because of external factors. But I believe that that good is still there. Now, there could be some exceptions to that. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know." And
Right.
of course, he had read through all of my test scores and everything. And he goes, "You're not for real, are you?" And I just looked at him and I said, "I don't know what to tell you, but that's me.
Right.
That's who I am." And I think a lot of people, somebody says something like that to them and they go, "Oh, crap. I don't know who I am." Don't you? Who knows you better than yourself? The good, the bad, and the ugly.
As long as you're being truthful to yourself. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's,
Yes.
there is no right and wrong. You are different than I am, but oh my God, I love you to death. that's
Right.
that's your strength, and that's the grace that you've had going through the experiences that you've had and still allowing people in. You know my history, you know my story, hard luck case. Um, I don't let it hold me back, but I don't have that need of I need to fix everybody. I need to be empathetic to everybody. Um, I come from a very different perspective. Now, I don't harbor the guilt and the hate and I just don't have time for that. Time is not infinite.
Right.
And so I look at
Yeah.
it as I can actually bear witness to people who are hurting, and I can understand that. But I can also respectively go, you haven't learned what you need to learn, and I'm not going to allow you into this space. You need to grow. You need to become somebody else. If you want to talk, great. But to actually let somebody into my particular space, I'm a lot more selective. God bless you. God bless you, girl. Because like I said, I will view people with a very clear lens, and then I'll hear the chattering from my guides going, this. And they'll tell me people's histories. They will tell me about people like they're Gossip Girl. And I'm like, okay, let me view, let me hear, let me assess myself. And I'll take your advisement. But yeah, I don't need the clicks, likes, everything else. I will be true, brutally honest to you. But that's just the way I work as a medium.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do it with love.
Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Because ego is a big thing with this. You have got to take your ego out of relationships. That is the number one thing that you have to do. Otherwise, you cannot honestly see relationships for who they are.
For sure.
And maybe that's the thing that you need to help the other person with, is to show them, model for them. Talk is cheap.
Yeah.
It's all done by action. How do you live your life so that others see? Because I know people will say to me, why are you so happy all the time? And I will say, well, I'm not necessarily happy all the time, but I am content,
Yeah.
because there is a difference there. And a lot of people have a very different definition of happiness than I do,
Right.
or that I probably have a different one than what you do, Jen. And that's fine. And we can't sit there on, I'm not happy,
Right.
or I don't have what I need to be happy. I always
Yeah.
say, when people say things to me, I love to come back with a question. Why aren't you happy? And let them talk.
Right.
And a lot of times they find out they're not as unhappy as they thought they were
Yeah.
once they start talking about it.
I,
Mhm.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Ego is the root of all evil. It's the look at me, or look at my numbers, or look at how great I am. It's me and self-driven. And unless you have that internal capacity to see yourself clearly, a humble person doesn't put themselves first. Somebody in grace does not put themselves first, right? It's good to be proud of yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's the ego, I need people to tell me how wonderful I am. I need people to tell me how beautiful I am. I need to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect car, the perfect dinner. That is all ego. That's all crap. And
And
when people,
it's not possible.
yeah, at some
Yeah.
point you're going to fall, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those where it's like, when you get a certain age, especially I'm 60. And so when you get to a certain age, that's not important.
Right.
The poorest
Yeah.
people I know, who don't have a lot of money to go on fancy trips and do this and that, but they have the love of their family and their kids, etc. Man, they are the richest people I know. And so
Absolutely.
it's the people who are true to themselves, not everybody else viewing. It's the ego that needs to die in order for people to move forward and learn lessons and really understand who they truly are.
Mhm.
I, Once again, bam, girl, you nailed that one. That the ego, I'm better than this person or whatever. Who cares? Who cares?
Right. Yeah. Yep. And the other part of it is that I know a lot of the paranormal community follows us,
Mhm.
and people who are new to it thinking, well, I would love to go investigate.
Yeah.
They come in not understanding what it's about, first of all.
Yeah.
And the second piece is if they haven't taken some of these steps to learn where they fit into the grand scheme of the
Yeah.
universe, they're not going to understand it. And some of that is true with even some of the most seasoned investigators. It's all just about the ooh, scare me stuff.
Right.
But that is not what paranormal investigating is about at all. And again, you get those who like, well, I'm the professional, and so I know what that was, and I know best. And it's like it goes back to perspective. You and I have investigated together, and we have experienced the same thing. But when it comes to explaining it, you come from your perspective, I come from my perspective. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with either one.
Right. I mean, we all have our own truths, right? We all have our own experience, and that creates our individual lens. And that can either really add to the experience or it could detract. I look at it as being able to speak to dead people on the other side, that I want to hear their story. Now, are they ghosts? Yeah, but to me, they're just energy, souls
Yeah.
that are trying to communicate and give me a message. We went to Deadwood,
Mhm.
and the lady just kept wanting to tell me about this child that had passed. That was important to her. It was very important. And then the docent brought me along and says, "Hey, I had an experience." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is what happened." She's like, "Yes," right? And so
Right.
just knowing the lens, not being afraid. Now, there are spooky shit. I mean, excuse me. There is spooky stuff out there. There are scary moments, but I don't
Yeah.
come in with the lens of fear just to get somebody to, put it on YouTube or get, a picture or a time, where everybody gets all scared. That's not who I am. That's not my perspective, right? And your perspective is obviously very different coming from your background. But I find collectively that when you're with seasoned people who have learned their lessons in life, who see through a true lens, like you're going to have Grant and Rihanna coming up on one of your events, their lens would be amazing because he's done it
Yes.
all. He's, been traveled. He has different perspective and different experiences. Those are the kind of things that really build the paranormal community, not the jump scare and the look what I caught and, oh, I heard this person on my recorder. No, it's about the connection, right? It's the connection
Yeah.
with the energy. It's the connection with the story and who was telling us this story and what their lives must have been. It's the puzzle pieces of the story of how we are still connected, even if somebody's passed. That energy still remains, and how we connect with that energy, I think, is amazing.
Right. Well, and to stick with Deadwood, I went under Estes,
Mm-hmm.
and when they tapped me out of it, first thing Shane says to me is, "You weren't here."
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of said, "Really?" And I started thinking about it, and I thought, "No, I wasn't there." And then you went under Estes,
Mm-hmm.
and John and Josh both said, "Oh, she's not here either."
Mm-hmm.
And so you and I started comparing notes because the next night we went to the brothel. And
Right.
I know when I stepped into that one room at the brothel, I was like, this is where I was under Estes last night. And
Yep.
that's when I mentioned it to you. And you're like, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
weren't over at that house. We were here at the brothel. And so I know I told Josh about that. And I know Josh was standing there looking at me like I had frogs crawling out of my nose. And he goes, "That is so interesting. I've
Mm-hmm.
never heard of that before."
But they know ahead of time. They know when we're going to be there. They know where we're going. They know way ahead of time before we even know. And it's our job to connect those dots and go, oh, wait a minute. Everything from the other place is now coming here. So they knew we were going to be there. It's their job to connect with us, right? In order for their stories to be told. And so people jump to, the explanation of, oh, well, I got it at this house. This must be the residence. No, it wasn't. It was not. It was the brothel people,
Right?
knowing that we were coming 24 hours later to convey their stories, their thoughts, how they felt, what happened. It all tied in beautifully. And that's the difference between a seasoned investigator versus somebody who's just jumping to conclusion that,
Mhm.
you know what, let's take a step back. Where was this showing and how is it connecting now? Those are the, checking the check marks on a good investigation, on good connection with the other side. So mind blowing, right?
Right? Yes. Yeah. And that's why I see our focus changing slightly on the show
Mhm.
here because we're transforming as well. And the show is going to be going through, I think, some transformation, some changes here too. And so I think rather rather than questioning what is happening, I think a better question that not only ourselves, you and I, but anyone who's listening to this needs to instead ask, who are we becoming?
Mm.
I think that is more of the valid question of where all of this is leading.
Yeah. Who do we need to become, right?
Right.
I think there's still fear and apprehension. I think our own personal religion, our thoughts, our friends, they all play a little, into our ears. Who do you need to become? Stop the chatter. Who do you need to become? And be honest with yourself, because that's what
Right.
holds us back. That's what causes the issues. That's what has us overcome problems in our self esteem and self awareness. We close down what we're hearing, what we're knowing, what we're seeing, what we're feeling to placate everybody else. Who do you need to become?
Right.
That, I think, is in essence kind of where we know the energy coming in. We hear our guides, you hear your angels. Where are they directing us for the greater good? And I think
Mhm.
that's huge.
It is huge because we have our own place
Yeah.
in the big wheel, if you will. And so for us to try to be like somebody else, then we're shortchanging ourselves in that we're not fulfilling what we're supposed to be doing, what we bring to the table.
Right.
And so that's where the honesty piece is so important because there's no one like us. No one. And we have our own roles to fulfill for the bigger picture. And
Yes.
that's incredible to know that we are all each so unique and the opportunities that that affords us, that we just need to be true to ourselves. And we do that by starting to figure out who we honestly are.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of jumping into your gifts. Everybody has gifts. Some people can paint, some people can play the piano, some people can, tap in like you and I can. It's
Yeah.
definitely a God given, at least how I believe, God given gift, right? And
Right.
let's not deny ourselves, right? If you get a feeling, run with it, right? If you hear something in your head that's not your own thought, run with it, right? We are all walking this life together, but some people choose to just be blind and just be deaf. Walking among sleeping people is what I call it, or how Native Americans feel, right? Um,
Yes.
we need to wake up. We need to be part of the solution, right? And stop
Yep.
having other people try and solve things for us. We have the capacity. Use our gifts. Go with your intuition. Go
Yep.
with your gut. Listen to your prayers or however you connect with the divine source. Run with it, right?
Mm.
Because
Yep.
collectively, I think this is where we all need to go, is like working on ourselves, working on who we need to be. Yeah, but that means
Right.
being truthful, and it also means being brave.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so a lot of this is about clearing out the noise so
Mhm.
that we get our discernment going for clarity and all of that. So shameless plug, Sarah Lemos and I are, ooh, there you are. Sarah Lemos and I are doing an event in Hot Springs, Arkansas in April. Just go to my website, chaplainjodi.me, and you can find out all the details. We're going to go digging for crystals even when we go there. And we're going to go
Yay.
sit in the mineral baths and do some wonderful healing besides the experience that you will have of what Sarah and I bring to the table. It's not an event, it's always an experience. And so check that out. And then also, I am so privileged that Grant and Rihanna Wilson, Grant, of course, of Ghostbusters, Rihanna had a hand in it too. Now, a lot of people don't know about that. We are going to be doing an event together at the Palmer House the end of January. We only, as of noon today, only, and this is July 29th, only had 7 spots left. So as you see this now, when we drop this for airing on Sunday, um, go right now and get your ticket if there's any left. And if not, I apologize. I don't know that we would open anymore because we like to keep it small and intimate. But I am just so humbled and so privileged that I get to do an event with them because they are mind blowing, incredible people with the experiences that they've had and what they have learned from all their experiences.
I could
So
just feel the
until,
energy of that.
yes. So until September, and as we said at the beginning, there's going to be some changes coming here, maybe some big ones. We can't say a lot just yet. But really start to settle in to your transformation. to the changes that have already been happening and are going to keep happening as we ride this fire horse through this year. We're only about halfway done. Last words, Jen?
Just hold on. August is going to be tons of energy, lots of stuff going on worldwide. There's going to be stuff. So if you get overloaded, turn it off. Do something happy. Put something into your mind that gives you joy. Cook a meal. Spend time with friends and family. We're all in this together. And if there's any questions, comments, shoot it to Jodi, shoot it to me. We're here together to help everybody together.
So until next time, everybody, we actually would be excited to hear from you. So don't hesitate to contact us. We love you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.